What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers, you look at them. They could, if they wanted to, kind of keep the team that they have, add centers in free agency, right? Clint Capella, Brook Lopez. Boom. Right? Maybe you go get like a DeAnthony Melton, right? Because Lakers would have Alex Lynn, Jackson Hayes falling off the books. They could get rid of Shake Milton because he's on a non-guarantee, right? So they could get basically 3-4 guys off the books if they needed to, right? So let's say you go get a DeAnthony Melton, right? You go get a Clint Capella, and you go get a Brook Lopez, right? Boom. That alone would solve a lot for the Lakers. Solve your center position. You got 2 veteran guys that have been there, done that experience. You got that lob threat. They can protect the rim. Brook Lopez gives you that skilled big that can also protect the rim, right? Okay, fine. Right? That alone would do wonders. I don't think that by itself makes the Lakers a true, like, they're the best team in all of basketball or a top 2-3 team in all of basketball. It's possible, right? Look at Luka's transformation, right? Luka's coming next year, right? So depending on what version of Luka we get, what version of LeBron we get, there is a potential, right? That they look like that, right? And then also if Austin Reeves actually shows up to the playoffs and stuff, there is a version of that, right? Where if you just add Brook Lopez and Clint Capella and like a DeAnthony Melton, right? You could be hoisting the Larry O'Brien. It's very possible, right? However, ideally, I'd like to make some play. Even if they do kind of just go the center position in free agency, get a DeAnthony Melton, and then go and trade their pieces, Rui and Gabe and Kleba and all these other guys to go get some perimeter, maybe some upgrades in the starting unit. Like, can you get a Herb Jones, something like that, right? Name that kind of comes to mind. Solve those positions of need, right? And then now maybe you're a true contender. But there's a couple things. One, this isn't a great free agency class. 2, next year's free agency class may be a lot better. And the reason I say maybe is something you got to keep in mind with the new CBA. Teams get I think it's like a week. You saw it this past season. It was the first year. But they get like a week, or I think it's 3 days. I think it's 72 hours. To sign their free agents before they hit the market, right? So it kind of gives teams a head start to keep their guys. So a lot of guys that are projected to be there now may not be there later. But the Lakers could potentially have like $100 million fall off their books. Literally, like the Lakers after this upcoming season could potentially only have like Bronny James, Dalton Connect, Jared Vanderbilt, their number 55th pick, assuming that they keep that, and Luka Doncic, right? You'd have Austin Reeves potentially coming off the books. I don't think that they just let him walk, but could. The star or whatever is like, hey, Lakers have $50 million in cap space now, right? But Austin Reeves, LeBron James could retire or opt out or take a discount or do whatever, right? You'd have Maxi Kleba, Gabe Vincent, right? Like Rui Hachimura, Shake Milton, right? Like the list literally goes on the salary space that they could do. So the question that I want to pose, and I'll tell you how I feel here in a moment, but is if a great trade doesn't develop, right? I've talked about as much as I want the Lakers to make trades, I don't want a bad trade, right? No trade is better than a bad trade. I still stand by that, right? Patience is key. And you got to keep in mind, no team is going to help the Lakers. No team out of the kindness of their heart is going to be like, yeah, we'll just trade you Daniel Gafford. Tell you what, you don't even have to give us picks. We'll just give you Daniel Gafford for expiring contracts, right? Like teams aren't just, no one's going to do that as much as we want them to, right? No team wants to be the team that now Lakers win a championship, but it's like, it's because of you, right? I mean, part of the reason people were outside of Dallas fans were upset with the Luka trade was not because he was traded, but because he was traded to the Lakers, right? And for what he was traded for, even though they traded Anthony Davis, a first, and Max Christie for it, like people act like Lakers got him for peanuts, right? Like they were able to keep Anthony Davis. And, it was like, oh man, like silly. But Point is, no team wants to help the Lakers. So it is very possible that there just aren't any deals out there that make sense. And again, no trade is better than a bad trade. Now, something could develop at the trade deadline or before the trade deadline, right? You could progress. You never know. Something could happen. It's very possible, right? But if you told me worst case scenario, and here's the thing, Lakers have to do something in free agency. They can't just like, oh, let's run it back. You have to be creative. Or I wouldn't even hate the idea of going and trading for like cap flexibility still, right? Like guy that comes to mind, right, is like a Harrison Barnes. Like Harrison Barnes would be great, 3-and-D guy, veteran, but he's on an expiring contract still, right? So like you still maintain that flexibility. If he works and he's great, sign him to a new deal, right? Whatever, right? So, but I look at this scenario with the Lakers and I'm like, obviously it depends on what ends up happening with, because having all that cap space is great, but it means nothing if, you don't do anything with it. If they go and they end up signing, a star, then yeah, it's like, okay, well, cool. Now you got your two guys for the next 10 years, right? And, if LeBron wants to stick around, fine. Take the discount. Otherwise, we're going to go and sign this guy over here, right? Like, whatever. But, like, I look at this Lakers team and I'm like, they need, in my opinion, at least 4, maybe 5 guys. You need 2 centers, a legit starting center, a legit backup center. And then I think you need at least 2 perimeter guys, like athletic, versatile perimeter guys. Now, if you could solve that in free agency, then perfect, right? And then, kind of see what it is and then go into the trade deadline. My concern is that the Lakers just kind of sit on their thumbs regardless. And I don't want them to do that. Like, I want to be clear. Like, if the Lakers can go for it now, go for it now. If you can go and trade and go get a Walker Kessler and then go trade for a Herb Jones and then sign a DeAnthony Melton and then sign a, whatever, Bruce Brown, and LeBron's willing to free up your full mid-level, then yes, go for it. Let's get it, right? But I also have the fear of like the Lakers just doing something just to do something. They go and overpay for Nick Claxton, who would be great, don't get me wrong, but they overpay for Nick Claxton, and then on top of that, they go and overpay for some random win where we're all just like, what? Like when they made the Patrick Beverley trade, it was like, okay, like, so you basically chose THT over Alex Caruso, just trade him for Patrick Beverley, who was statistically the worst basketball player in all of basketball when he was with the Lakers. All right, great decision making, right? Like, what I'm saying is that, like, if you told me Lakers, if they hit on what they need to hit on in free agency and then just kind of went into the season, and then worst case scenario, everyone kind of falls off, I wouldn't hate that, right? Again, depending on what they acquire. But again, just a conversation, right? Because it's an option. It's definitely a possibility that that's what the Lakers do. But anyways, always, to the discussion, pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.